Good morning. I am here to talk about watersheds. A watershed is a region of land whose water drains into a specified body of water. Notice that the water that rains all goes into the watershed. Everything goes down this way. If this little bear up here pees, he's going to go the other direction. There are great, huge watersheds on the continental United States. The most well known is the Mississippi River watershed. Huge. So when there's a storm of a huge rainstorm here, it might take several days to make the flood down in Louisiana. Here's a contour picture of the watershed. Notice it. The high ridge, all the way around. The high ridge is the delineation of the watershed. Here are some people measuring stream flow, just as we did in the video. The stream flow calculations. The area of the stream is the depth times the width, and then the area times the velocity is the discharge or flow. Here's a hydrograph of a river, and after a rainstorm that happens right about here, a normal watershed has a slow curve and then it drops down, and this is your water cycle from point to point where it's equal. If you urbanize it, that means pave it, you get a huge peak, a faster peak, and a shorter cycle. Here's clear cutting. Here's a diagram where they had two watersheds and they graphed them and the water cycles were similar. Then they cut the trees off of A, and A has a much faster, taller water cycle. The trees did not hold the water because they're gone. Now that brings us to the Indian River. You have a map, and I was hoping we could look at this. Now, your map has squares that are, my mistake, let's see, 10-mile squares. No, I take that back. That's 10 kilometers. Uh-oh. Yeah, 10 kilometers. 10 kilometer squares. And here is our Indian River. And so I can carefully delineate, and I wanted you to do this yourselves, to delineate the high point on the ridge. Okay, there is the watershed of Indian River. Now we want to estimate that size. That's not easy. So if this square right here is 10 kilometers or 100 square kilometers, 10 by 10, what is this area right here? I'm going to estimate to be about a third of a square, and therefore it's 25 kilometers squared. And that's where we'll take that number, 25 square kilometers, back to our river calculation.